Read the question for us. We can't hear you well, Isaac.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, a bit better.
Bank is developing an account management system, manage different types of accounts for each account has attributes such as account, account holder name, account holder name, balance. There are two main types of accounts: savings account and checking account. Savings account has an additional attribute called interest rate, while checking account have overdraft limit, overdraft limit. When a new account is created, the system should assign a unique account number to each account and initialize balance. Bank also wants to track how many accounts have been created so far. Additionally, the system needs to handle different scenarios for creating accounts. For example, customer might want to open an account with a zero balance, or they might provide an initial deposit amount. Bank also wants to allow customers to transfer funds between accounts. So the system should include methods for deposit, withdrawal, and transfer. Task number one: create a base account class with attributes: account number, account holder name, balance. Implement methods for deposit, withdrawing money,
Okay.
and for transferring funds between accounts. Use constructor overloading to allow for account creation with or without an initial deposit. Ensure that the system assigns a unique
Yesterday, I put a video in your class page. The video um, talks about what object-oriented programming is and how it is being used. To be honest, I sent that video before you because of the course we are doing. And that video is supposed to help us to understand more about the course we are doing and what we are doing, to give you more knowledge on what we are doing. So that is why I sent you that course. Yes. Now, for today, we are going to focus on we are going to focus on this topic, and we are going to break down this topic, and then we will learn the various um, theories and various things we have to learn and characteristics as we go along while breaking down this topic. It is very important. It is very, very important that we learn how to solve problems. That is what this course is supposed to teach us. Not only how to solve problems, but how to solve problems in the object-oriented way. Now, in this questioning which we have on the screen here, whilst we are watching, we are faced with a problem at a particular bank. Now, what is the problem this bank have, or what problem does this bank have? The bank wants you to design an account management system for them. That is what the bank wants you to do. They want you to design an account management system for them. We start by creating a base account class and 3 subclasses. What does this mean? According to the bank, anybody who comes to the bank can create an account. So everybody who comes to the bank creates an account. The account can be broken down into 2. It can be broken down into a savings account, or it can be broken down into a checking account. So what we are going to do is that everything that is common for the savings is common for the checking in account. We'll put in the account. And then the specific things that only savings has, we'll go and add it to savings. And the specific things that only checking has, we'll go and add it to what? Checking. The question here is this: what does savings have and what does checking have that is common, similar to them, and what do they have which is not similar to them? What kind of value do they have that is not similar to them? Now, that is one easy way for you to be able to group and craft your classes. So every single person who has an account at the bank has the following. They will have an account number, an account holder name, and an account balance. They are saying that if you have an account, then you can do the following things. You can be able to deposit money, withdraw money, or transfer money. So over here, I've just created the class called account. Over here, I have savings. According to the question, if you have savings, then you can do an over. If you have savings, then you can have an interest rate given to you. But if you have a checking account, then you can have an overdraft. According to the question, regardless of if you are a savings account or a checking account, in here, we must give you a unique account ID. And we must count the number of accounts in which you have. So whilst the system is running, we must keep a running tally of the accounts you have. You must know each and every single account you have, when you have it, how you have it, so on and so forth. That means that in our code, we must find a way to count whenever a new account is created. Now, in here, in the savings account, we can't count it there. In here, in the checking account, we can't count it there. That means we'll count it at the place where it is common for both the savings and the checking. That means that in the savings account, when we create that class, we have to find a way where we can count the number of accounts that have been created. Sorry about that. So now, even if I know nothing, I know that from the question, this is the information I can deduce. Now I go and code. I open my new project in my IntelliJ. And in here, I write the code for my application. They said we need 3 classes. So here I'll right click here, go to new class and type in account. I'll right click here, go to new class. And in here, I will go and type in savings. Let me pick it from here. Remember, our class names always start with a capital letter. Over here, I'll go for this one and I want to create a checking account. So I'll copy this. I'll come here. I'll right click. I'll go to new, come here. In here, I'll type this and I'll click here so that I open a new checking account. So now I've created the 3 classes. Now, I must create the class. A class has 2 things. A class will have a method and the attributes of the class. So the attributes. Over here, we said the attributes are account name, account holder name, and what? Balance. That means that here, I'll put these items over here. Account name, account username, and what? Balance. Now, also, they told us that we need to keep the total accounts that have been created. In the question, we need to keep track of that. And we said we are going to keep track of that in the account. The question here is this. In Java, I can't just write the names and go away like that. I can't just write the attributes and then go away like that. Each attribute has to have a data type. And because I want to implement the concept of encapsulation, it means that each and every single one of these things here would be made private. Not only that, I would give them their data types. So this would be a string. This here would also be a string. And this here would be a double. This here would be an integer. Now, I cannot leave this one here like that. That is the total account. I can't leave it like that because it is shared, because it is a running tally. If someone creates an account, then I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. If I leave it like this, it will be changed. It will not have a permanent location where the tally can be tallied. So I must tell the computer that whilst the program is running, this one here should be static so that it does not, it has a permanent location and it is fixed. So that I can easily increase the tally there because it is fixed, because it will not change, because this location is kept in memory. I can increase the tally there and know that when I come back there, it will be there. So I have done the attributes of the class. I also have to do the methods. So here, I'll say public static int generate account number. So because this has a type, it's not void. If it was void, I won't get an error here. Because it has a data type, it means I need to return a value. And what value am I returning? I'm returning plus plus total account. Now, the plus plus here has a meaning. I could have done total account plus plus. But you can say that the plus plus is not at the back, it's at the front, which means it is a pre-incremental. This one here is a post-incremental. A pre-incremental means that the thing would be increased and displayed. A post-incremental means that the thing would be displayed, then increased. So over here, whilst I have this being equal to 0, it means that in this code I have here, it would be increased to 1, then saved. If I had used this, 0 will be saved, then it will be increased to what? 1. So the pre-incremental is used so that it would be increased and then displayed. So this piece of code here will help us to count each time an account is created. So now that we have something to count the account and save the account number that we want, now we can go and create the constructor. Now this constructor with no initial deposit. So we have public. Because it's a constructor, we'll use the class name, and the class name always starts with a capital letter. And we'll have our parameters, and we'll have this for over there. In here, we'll have the values we are passing to ourselves, which would be string, account, holder, name. In here again, I'm going to say this dot. That means I'm referring to the account holder name that is outside over here, and it is equal to the account holder name. Sorry. It's equal to the account holder name that is inside over here. Number two, I'm going to tell the computer this dot account number. So the account number is equal to AC plus generate account number. So for example, if you create your account, you have AC1, AC2, AC3. So the number over here will be automatically generated. And it is being generated by us adding 1 to where it has been stored. So when it checks and let's say it is on number 1000, then you have 1001. So every time an account is created, we will just be counting 1 up just like that. So here we have that information here. The next thing is that we need to tell the person that this account dot balance is equal to 0.00. Because over here, you will allow you to create an account without a deposit. Back here in the question, it says that, where does it say that? Thanks to transport, the account needs to handle this statement over here, when Isaac was reading. Additionally, the system needs to handle different scenarios for creating accounts. For example, a customer might open an account with a 0 balance. So if you're a customer and you come to the bank and you don't have money, we can open an account for you. If you're a customer and you come and you have money, we can also open an account for you. The first half of the statement, this one deals with someone who comes to the bank without any what? Money. I'm going to create a constructor again. So the question in your exam, I'll ask you, can you create 2 constructors in 1 class? Answer, yes, I can create 2 constructors in 1 class. So here, I'll create another constructor. Now, you can see that the name here and the name here is the same. The thing in the parameter here and the thing in the parameter here is the same. So the computer is telling me that this and this are both the same. So why do you want to create the same thing twice? It is illegal. You can't do that. But if I bring a comma here and say double balance, now the line goes away because this and this are not the same anymore. The names are the same, but the information in the parameter here are different. This is what we call this is what we call constructor overloading. When the name of the constructor is the same, but the information the constructor is holding is different. So if I go back to the question here, at some point, it tells us to implement constructor overloading. That means they are telling you that create 2 constructors having the same name, but different information in their parameters. So that here, I'll just put the balance the person entered over here. So with 1, I'll only accept your name and create an account for you. With the other, I'll accept your name and the balance you have and create an account for you. In either case, the account number will be generated automatically for you. Now that I have these 2 things created, so over here I have a constructor with initial deposit. Now I can come here. In here, they said we should deal with Number one, deposit, withdrawal, and transfer. So let's deal with deposit first. So public, void, deposit. And in here, I'll take a double and the amount you want to what? Deposit. Let us note the following, that in here, as we can see, there is no need to return anything because over here it is what? Void. If this was anything else, then means here I'll have to type the word return to hold something. But since it is void, there's no need for me to hold anything. Number two, in here, I have to check if the amount you have entered is greater than zero. If the amount is greater than zero, then the balance we have created outside of this function here. So this dot balance will help me to refer to the balance I have over here. I will go and take that balance and make it equal to that balance plus whatever amount in which you are entering. Now, in order for me to write this, I could have easily just written plus equal to. So plus equal to will replace. Plus equal to will replace that whole statement in which I had earlier. In other words, I could write this or I can just write that. And this statement here and the one on top mean the same thing. With that in mind again, I'll bring my else statement here. And in here, I would say, or before that here, I would say system.out.print deposited plus amount plus space new balance plus, and in here I'll put the new balance as this dot balance. Wonderful. So normally in your MTN, you would realize you will get a message, and the message would be, you are trying to withdraw this amount. Your new balance is this. This is how it is done. So all you will do is enter the amount you want to put in. They will check if the amount you want to put in is it more than zero. If it is, then okay, let's your balance. Let's add this amount to it and give you a message. And they have done that. Over here, I'll give another message which tells the person that system.out.print. And in here, I'm going to tell the individual with double quotes, invalid deposit amount. So if the amount you want to put in is less than zero or something, then we'll tell you, oh, invalid deposit amount. I am done with the deposit. I'm going to do the withdrawal. It's similar to this, so because of time, I'll copy the code and change this word here from deposit to withdraw. Still, you put the amount here, but I will check. Is the amount you want to deposit bigger than zero? The amount you want to withdraw, is it bigger than zero? If yes, at the same time, so I'll use end, is the amount you want to withdraw lesser than or equal to the amount in which you have in your balance? Now, if it is, then we are going to subtract that amount of money from your balance. So it is the same as me writing this minus this. So this statement here is the same as the statement here. And then here, I'll tell you withdrew this. So your new balance is that. And over here, invalid withdraw amount, withdrawal amount, or insufficient funds. In here again, I'll now do for the transfer. So public void transfer. Now in here, I'll put a object. So account to account, comma, double amount. So over here, I am going to put in the account that you want to transfer the money to. And I'm going to put here the amount you want to transfer it to. This account here is coming from the class we are creating, so that the moment I implement these two accounts here, I can fetch the person's account number or name or balance. All of those things are going to be contained here. So I don't have to say, give me the name, give me the account number, give me this. No, all of them are grouped into the person's account. So when I call on account and I put the value there, I will have all of that information to use. Hence, in here, I'll check if, first of all, this dot balance, so if your balance is greater than or equal to the amount in which you want to what, send. And at the same time, the amount you want to send is bigger than 0. So this makes sure that you have money in your account and you can send it. Then I'll say this dot withdrawal, because if you want to transfer money first, we have to remove it from your account. Then we have to go and put it in the other person's account. So this dot withdrawal, then we'll put in here the amount that you have said you want to send. So you can see that because we have the function called withdrawal over here already, that this word lets the method know that, oh, go out of this, you will find withdrawal and use that one. So here with withdrawal, we said we just put the amount here and this thing will be done for us. So you can see that when I call on withdrawal, I'm calling on all of these things to be done for me automatically. Then in here, I would say system. Oh, sorry. Then I'll say to account dot. You can see that the moment I mention to account, it is giving me all the things we have created in the account class. What I want to do is deposit. So we are going to take the person who we are sending the money to's account and deposit the money over there. I don't have to write a lot of code. I've already told it what to do when it comes to deposit. So all I have to put in here is the what? The amount. And it will take care of everything else. Then in here, I just tell the person that, oh, you withdrew some money. So your new balance is going to be that. Same way when you're using your MTN. you put in some money, you see that they'll tell you, oh, you have removed money, oh, then they'll tell the other person, oh, money has dropped into your account. In here, I'm going to say else and tell the person that, oh, the money you are trying to withdraw is invalid, or you don't have enough money in your account to transfer if you don't fall within this category. Now, after this, whenever I am creating the account over here using the constructor, I'll either take the account's name or the deposit. So right now, there is no way whereby a particular individual can see what they have put in the account name or the deposit or whatever. So I'm going to tell the computer that it should create some getters for me. These getters will allow me to retrieve information when I need to retrieve the information. So the first, I'll just click on alternate insert, and then I'll go and click on getters, and I'll create getters for all of the 4 things over here and press OK. And you can see that I have a getter for to account, a getter for account name, a getter for account holder name, a getter for account number, holder name, and then the balance. So that if I want to know what is your balance, then I'll use get balance to tell me what's your balance, what your account name is, how many accounts do we have, so on and so forth. So in here, I have just created all the information I need for account. Now I'll come here to savings. Savings is a child of account. So in order for me to implement the property of inheritance, I will have to extend account. So we use the extend word to demonstrate inheritance. So right now in my code, I have gone to the account class I've created and told the computer all of the things here, go and give it to what? Savings account. But in savings account, they told us that when we are using savings account, the person is supposed to have an interest rate. So in here, I would say private, because I want to also use encapsulation rules, double, and then I want to put in interest rate over here. So now I need to create a constructor over here. The constructor is also going to be 2 here. One for when the person is creating a savings account with no balance, and one for when the person is creating a savings account and they have a balance. So in here, I'll type the following. Public savings into bracket, string, account holder name, comma, double interest rate. So this is when the person does not have any deposit to make. I only take his name and then the interest rate the bank will be giving him. So in here, I would use the word super. The word super here is referring to the constructor we have in the parent. In here, in the parent, I have 2 constructors. I have one constructor with just the holder name, and I have a constructor with the holder name and the balance. Since this does not deal with balance, I'll only put in here the account's holder name. And then I'll tell the computer that this dot interest rate should be equal to the interest rate the person will type. So I've created a constructor here for when the person does not have a balance. Now, when he has a balance, I can copy this. I can paste it here. And here, I'll just add a comma and bring double and put in here balance. So that in here, I'll just bring a comma here and add the word balance. Because in the other one, we can see that here it takes the account holder name and the word, the balance. Again, this is called constructor overloading because here I have the same name, but different parameters here. This has 3, this has 2. So they are not the same. In order for somebody to be able to know the interest rate, because over here, I would use the constructor to set it. So I don't need a setter, I need a getter. So in here, I'll press alternate insert again. I'll go and click on getter. I'll click this and I'll press OK, and it will create the getter for interest rate for me. I'm done with savings. I'll go to checking. In checking, they said that if the person is using a checking account, then that individual has an overdraft. So again, private, double, overdraft, limit. In here again, I need to create a constructor. So public, checking, open bracket. In here, I'll say string account holder name, comma, double, overdraft limit. In here again, I'll say super into bracket, account holder name. Then here I would say this dot overdraft is equal to overdraft limit. Now, over here, the super is underlined. Why is it underlined? It's underlined because over here, I've told the person I'm using checking account class, but I have not told it that all of its information is coming from the parent called account. So I've done extends from what? Account. So it doesn't know why I've created a super and I'm telling the super to hold account name. Again, we have to do this again. And in here, when we copy this, we'll paste it. But for this one, we'll add a comma here, bring a double here, and put in balance here. So that over here, we'll have a comma and then bring in balance. Now, very importantly, if you have a checking account, because you have an overdraft limit, it means that when you are trying to send money to somebody, you can send them money and your overdraft. That means that the transfer we created over here will not work for the overdraft. So I have to tell the computer that I want to create a new transfer here. And the transfer which I'm creating here, there has to be a change at a particular point. And where does the change have to be? The change for the transfer has to be where we check if the amount is greater than, into bracket here, the amount in which the person wants to, made a mistake. The balance here, it is this plus the this dot overdraft limit. So it is not just the amount of money you have in your balance, but also your overdraft limit. There is a problem. Over here, we are telling the computer to create a new transfer, but there is a transfer in this account already. So there is a conflict. There is a conflict. Oh, sorry, it's not transfer, it's withdrawal. It's when I'm doing a withdrawal. When I'm transferring, I don't need to increase my capacity. It is when I'm withdrawing that I need to increase my capacity. So I can withdraw the amount of money I have in my bank account, and then I can also withdraw the limits I have. So over here, it will be this one plus the withdrawal limits that the person has. So let's just put this in a bracket so the computer knows that this should be seen as what? One. So this is perfect. Now, problem. Problem is over here I have withdraw. In account, I have withdraw. Which withdraw is the computer supposed to use? Also, this withdraw here, we've made changes here. So is it, even if you were supposed to use one, is it using the one with the changes or the ones without the changes? So there are times when the child would want to take something of the parent, but do it in their own way. For example, in your organization, you can have a lot of people who are employees, but their salary is not the same. So if I create a method called salary, when it comes to each employee, their salary calculation will have to be different. With this in mind, when I come over here, I'm going to add something important of the top by using the add symbol and adding override. The moment I add the add symbol and I add override, it tells the computer that what I am doing, I am picking up the information from, I am telling the computer to forget about the withdrawal that is in the account and only focus on the withdrawal that is in the child, since I am extending from the child. So the computer would override the one at the top and use this one. So this would be the main information where the computer will be picking its information from. With that in mind, I can run this application in my main method. Now, I can create accounts for savings and then for checking. So here I have a savings account called SAL1. And then here I have an account holder. I have the interest rate as this and the balance as this. I have also the account limit as this and the balance as this. I can, as part of what I want to do, check for various things. So for example, I can print out that, oh, the account holder for this, the first account, I can post out their name and I can print out the name of the second person. So here, account holder is equal to SA1, that is savings account 1, dot the name of the account holder. And I should be able to see John Doe there. And when I print out the second person, I should be able to see what's his name there. Here, let me change this account over here from private to protected so that the child can have access to it because it is private. It's preventing it from having access to it. So let me make it protected. Mhm. And this should take away all of this so that now my application can be free. So over here, it tells me the account name is John, and then it is what? Jane. I can do action. So I can tell the computer that, okay, for John, go and then give him a deposit of 500 Ghana cedis. Then for Carl, withdraw 200 Ghana cedis. And over here, add 300 Ghana cedis to this. And then I can ask the computer to tell me also the number of accounts in which I have created. So when I run, it should tell me that I have created 2 accounts. So you can see that here, let me add an NL over here so that the things we do will not display on themselves. Good. And then over here too, let me add another NL here. Good. So that when I run this, I have savings John, this in John. Over here, we deposited 500, so our new balance is 500. Over here, we withdrew this, so our new balance is this. Over here, we withdrew this, so our new balance is that. We deposited this, and then we withdrew that, so we have this, and our balance is all shown. We can go further to showcase all of these things. The idea is this. The idea is this. In your main class, over here, most of the time when I arrive here, I just implement them, then I leave the class how it is. Today, I will not do that. Today, I will go further to demonstrate what the main class is there for. So in the main class, normally, I will have a set of code over there. So for example, this code here, whereby in here, when we run the code, I will have this. What would you like to do? Do you want to create a new balance? Do you want to deposit money? Do you want to withdraw money? Click 1 or 2 or 4 or whatever to do what you want to do. Then the person would either press 1 or 2 or 4 and then do what they want to do. Another example is this. We can add create an account. And that will change the way in which I've set this home screen up. So let me remove this. Let me put this in here. And let me run this. So over here, if I click create an account, then I'll go on to ask if I'm one, then I'll go on to ask the person his name. So John, the deposit is due with 200. Then if you tell me John has been created successfully, that, this is his account number. Okay. What do I want to do now? Oh, I want to check John's balance. So I'll press 2. Then if you tell me John's balance is this, then like that. So the job of the main screen is supposed to go and pick the information. So you can see that once I pick the information, I'll create the new account. Once I do that, then I'll here's what you just put it here, take it, use it to create the new account, so on and so forth. And then each time I'll be handing it over to the classes I've created in the background. In our next classes, we will do that. We'll start creating, it's like we have a front-end interface, we have a back-end interface. Most of the things we are doing is the back-end interface of it. Now we will do front-end interfaces to connect. Then we can communicate and we can act as one. But the key point is this: we need to understand what is a constructor. How do we do constructor overloading? How do I create various classes? How do I implement encapsulation? How do I implement inheritance? By using the word extends. What is inheritance? What is encapsulation? What is that? You must know these things. I will ask you these things in the exam. What is it? How do you do it? Give an example. What is that? How do you do this? Give an example. I will ask you. So in your learning, make room for that. And you realize that once we master this, us doing an account or creating a balance, it's only us just saying deposit something dot deposit, then we put a value in and it will go and do. We don't have to worry about what it does. Thank you so much for coming today. Today, we took a question from the pool of questions I've given you, and we solved again. Remember, you were supposed to go and solve the questions and come and show me the answers. None of you, I repeat, none of you has shown me any answers or attempted to do any of the questions, which is very sad, but I will not say anything. I would send you the video for the class. I wish you a good week. Are there any questions before I go? All right, thank you. Have a good week.